I've actually been to his house.
Whoa. Seems creepy.
Sound a little
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein-y at this particular
No, my dad.
No, it's getting worse.
My dad is a retired plumbing contractor. He worked on John Madden's house, and I went and helped. John Madden wasn't there, so I didn't meet him, but I was in his bathroom.
Joe in John Madden's bathroom plumbing Pat Summerall.
Absolutely.
Pat Summerall's daughter having a rough week, huh?
Wow. She looks 100 years old and has the best Karen haircut of all time.
Oh my God.
Are you looking at this thing?
Yeah, I am. That is an immaculate piece of lettuce on her dome right there. Jesus. Imagine the amount of time she spends making that thing happen every day.
I mean, that's a power Karen right there. That's just like...
That thing looks like it's got a gravitational pull.
When I found out she was Pat Summerall's daughter, it honestly made me a little bit sad.
Yeah, it looks like you do not want to be on her bad side. She will call the manager on you in seconds.
Yep, the final boss of Karens right there.
No doubt. Sights and sounds and edges found. You will now get down with The Underground, the show that goes to the depths of the Dynasty landscape. Dynasty Underground is back in your life. I am Trav, hosted in West Coastin'. Happy to be here. We're posted up on the Undroppables YouTube channel and your favorite audio platforms. With me, of course, can't wait to get into this one with the fellas. The wise man, Jax Falcone. How are you doing as we head into semifinal week, my man?
Dude, it's so much fun. A lot of semifinals games, and I think that the trade action and the kerfuffles that break out after the trades, and I love posting on Twitter and watching people get a little upset that, how are these leagues still have trades during the play?
Mm-hmm.
I love everything about it. I love just making people uncomfortable with these trades in every possible way. It's fantastic.
Yeah, these playoff trades are very polarizing, as we have all been witness to. Joseph, in the corner office with the View tonight. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and I'm just thinking back to a conversation we had a few weeks ago, just a little one-liner that couldn't be more true, which is, it's always good when you can make your league mates fight. I think that needs to be a t-shirt on the Undroppables website. We were spitballing on some of those, but anyways, I'm good. I'm being pulled in multiple directions right now. Obviously, it's the holidays. It's time to finish the job in some of these leagues. Time to just, bring this thing home, which is, to Jackson's point, trades, whatever you got to do, finish the job. So I'm very focused on that. But there is a piece of my brain that's pulling me towards prospects. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
we are 2 weeks away from it's like NFL playoffs are great and everything, but honestly, I'm going to be just diving into prospects at that point. And my mind is going faster than time will allow me to, get through all this stuff, but I can't wait so much. The season's actually about to start, guys.
Yeah. What's kind of cool, Joe, is that we have each other this year. This whole sort of process. I've always been so eager, on the undrafted, to sort of get to it. And now I feel like there's a certain piece that we're getting to this all together, and we'll just sort of land this plane. We've got, Jay in the green room, but, obviously he will be piloting the UN score as we kind of go through all this, and a lot of the data and watching film and just trying to figure it all out is so much fun. And I'm so excited to do it with you guys. But first, I'm going to take down some fucking championships and just throw them right in your face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is the season. There's work to be done before we get there. But yeah, guys, speaking of that, we're coming up on a year of podcasting together. January 1st of 2025 is when we started, and we are coming around to a calendar year. So it's been a good time. We're getting some of that history and some of that, some of those takes in the bag where we can track some of that forward, and we can kind of move that stuff over into the following season. So I'm excited to do that with you guys. Lots of good alpha to talk about on this show as well. We're going to talk about some trades that we've made this week. We're going to talk about the question of the week, of course. We're going to talk about the bloodbath that was in week 15. And then we might have some other things as far as winning moves that you can make. But first, Joe, you mentioned being pulled in multiple directions. Big piece of news out in the fantasy streets that got me changing my tight end rankings. And that would be Ben Sinnott. Recent news has him having 2 girlfriends, folks. And I, for one, put him up in the rankings. Joe, you might actually have a different take. And Jax, you said that you had many takes on this. So why don't you start us off with your thoughts on Ben Sinnott and having 2 girlfriends? Well, if you like.
Look, I just want to say, like, you know, we were all paying attention. We listened to ETR, Established the Run. Those guys are awesome. And, you know, of course, you know, I thought Evan kind of tiptoed away from it. You know, I think Adam was trying to get him to talk about it. You know, hashtag team sex. Adam's always famous for making sex jokes. And he just tried to, you know, lure Evan to say something. I was like, well, he just was like, nah, I'm out, and moved on. I was like, he's a better man, bigger man, a smarter man, a wiser man than I, because I could not have not fallen for that bait. I'm all in. As soon as you asked me about the 2 girlfriends, you know, what do you think about, you know, the 2 girlfriends? And I thought, I've been asking my wife to do this for a long time, and it's unsuccessful. So this guy's pulling it off right off the bat. Unbelievable. So you got to give him a lot of credit. Of course, you all know, because we're friends, that I actually have a homie who has pulled this off in the wild. And he's an adult with kids and a company and the whole thing. And he's pulled this off right in front of friend groups and the whole thing. He's now basically married to two women, and Facebook and Instagram, they're dancing and celebrating together, and this whole thing. I was impressed. And really, I mean, think about how high a degree of difficulty it is.
It's insane.
Wait, look, when you're 20 and you're about to sign a multi-million-dollar contract, honestly, you know, low bar. It's probably pretty easy. You're talking some 18, 19-year-old girls and hanging out with you. This is easy. We've all kind of been there. But if you're an adult in the wild with like a family, and you can fucking just switch it all up and be like, I've got 2 broads now. That's the way this goes. You know, deal with it. You want to invite us? You're inviting this whole thing.
All of us.
Unbelievable. That's a very high degree of difficulty move. Got to give it to him.
That's the Odell Beckham one-handed catch in the wild is what he did as far as degree of difficulty, for sure.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's a thing too, because it's starting to become a little bit more of a
little more trendy,
you know, socially. Absolutely.
Yeah. I can see some benefits, you know, like more hands on deck and stuff like that. And you know,
did you say deck?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I did with an E. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make. Gotcha. No, I hear you. I understand.
Yeah.
More hands.
You know, more opinions when trying to make decisions sounds great. And
right.
Yeah.
More people that tell you they don't know where they want to go to eat tonight. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Or that you did something wrong. Yep.
Ooh, careful now. We're digging deep.
Joe, what's your take on the matter? Because I think it was maybe a little bit more fantasy related, which is probably where we need to circle this train back to.
It's definitely fantasy related. Listen, obviously, I had just traded for him in like 2 different leagues when I found this information out, and I was like, great job. Like, obviously, we adjust him way up the ranks. The next week, sadly, Zach Ertz's leg falls off. So I was just like, this is working out pretty well. But if we're being realistic about this, you know, we gotta look at it from both sides. The truth is, there is no way this guy is giving football his all. Right?
Fair point.
I don't even know if he's giving it his half, right? So
yeah,
it's probably bearish on long-term outlook, but it's not going to affect my ranking of him. He's the tight end 3-way.
Right.
Oh, incredible.
Oh, yes. Amazing. Welcome to the underground, folks.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Maybe you should not have chosen that as the topic to kick off the show, but Hopefully you had a laugh, and if you stumbled upon us, hopefully that's a reason that you stayed,
Right,
because
yeah. This is
we do
their
have some fantasy takes coming. Yeah,
their
we do.
first time catching the show. They're like, I don't think I like these
I
guys
don't know
very
about
much.
this. Yeah, I don't know about this. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got on Ben Sinnott's rise.
There we go.
We've been fans, and the fandom continues. So boys, we're gonna give the people what they want.
Yep.
We've talked about this previously on the show. We're gonna talk about some of the trades that we made this week. Talk a little bit about theory behind them, why we did them. I'm gonna kick us off, boys, because this is one that I've been trying to make for weeks in this league. I've been out of it. I have Davante Adams. I've been trying to package him for a first. It's hard to get a first straight up for Davante Adams just because of his age, but a second feels kind of low. And so I have Tua also as a surplus. Also had Travis Etienne as a surplus. Guys that I could get rid of that I don't need, don't do me any good. Been working the Etienne side. Hasn't really worked out value-wise. So I threw Tua in on one for a team who needed a quarterback and needed a wide receiver. This is a second place team. I'm like 3-11 or something like that. I need to blow this thing up. And so I traded Davante Adams and I traded Tua Tagovailoa for a first, a second, and a third. And I was trying to get a first, a second, and Terrence Ferguson, but this other manager was a big T-Ferg fan, much like myself. And so we switched that into a third. And so it's a 26 first, 27 second, 26 third. So it was originally a 27 first, but we moved that into a 26 because the other manager wanted the 27, which I thought was fair enough. I probably could have squeezed a little bit more for that, but I think getting the first, second, and third out of Tua and Adams, especially with the developments that took place over this week, I think was great.
Joe, go ahead.
All right. I mean, first of all, am I in this league?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know what trade you're talking about. Oh my God. May God have mercy on his soul. What did you just do to him?
I thought I was getting him a title. But
then
absolutely
Tua
nuked
gets
him.
benched. Tua gets benched, and Davante pulls a hammy right then and there. And if I'm not mistaken, he lost this matchup. I can add some additional I mean, first of all, that's an incredible trade.
Add the layer, Joe.
Yeah, that's an incredible trade. But I'm going to add one more layer to this.
Please.
You wanted T-Ferg, but I had already made an offer in this league to the same manager, which included T-Ferg. So
you're the reason I didn't get him.
I sent him Stafford for Penix and T-Ferg. And like, honestly, like there were so many leaks, so many things going on. I didn't realize why in the chat you called me a bastard until like way later. like when I pulled off that trade, and then I like scrolled up a little bit and I saw what you did, and it didn't even dawn on me till just now because this was before the game started on Sunday. Like how bad your trade was for him. Mine was fine, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
And mine, if Tua continues to start this season and Adams doesn't get hurt, I think is a fine trade.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know,
then it's okay.
I think it's okay value wise if you have a starting quarterback and a guy who's performing as a wide receiver one.
Yeah,
but man,
sure.
And
well, this is actually just a great example of the process, right? Because we both saw that he had lost the quarterback, and we both pounced on it, right? I'm offering him Stafford, you're offering him Tua, and we both pull off trades. And oh my God, I now I feel terrible.
He had a gif of a skier just tumbling head over feet down, like perpetually down a ski hill after that. It was a very fitting gif to throw in the chat after that. I didn't say anything on that because there's no way I'm chirping that trade after that. That's devastating.
No, you honestly, you do actually feel bad. You don't want that. That's not what you want. I mean, I mean, I've made these types of
predatory trades on both of our parts.
But you've made these types of trades many times before. Earlier in the season, I made the Saquon Barkley. I gave up Saquon and got Trevion Henderson in the first. And it's like, I want Saquon to dominate this year. I hope he wins the league with Saquon. Like, I'm not looking for – what do I give a shit? It's not my team, Go get him, man. But, like, the idea that he just trades for Davante and Tua and just the worst possible run out that you could imagine.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tua – given the situation, like it can't be better. Could it be better for him if he gets moved or something? I don't even know, man. This is such a mess.
It's hard to see because that system was one that was supposed to be just great, right? And so it's like, where could he go that's going to provide him a better system? Because I think he needs that because he's limited as a quarterback, obviously. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think he has a shot at a starting job for sure. Like he definitely is going to get a shot to be a starter somewhere.
Somewhere you would think, but yeah. He's
And
going to be paid like a starter for sure.
yeah,
That much.
well, and if McDaniel goes, maybe Tua does get to stay with the new regime and get a chance to compete. Who knows?
I don't think there's any chance Tua as a starter moving forward. I think he's a backup. I mean, not pulling any punches here, but I said from when we started this show how little I believe in Tua and how bad it's gotten. All of his interceptions this season have come against the zone defense.
Saw that.
Wow.
That is such a joke. That's the stuff that good quarterbacks are supposed to be able to pick apart. What that tells you is like without Tyreek Hill getting wide ass open, right? Like this guy like doesn't even know where to go with the ball. He doesn't have like the arm. He's obviously endured a bunch of injuries over the course of his career, hip, head, multiple head injuries and everything like that. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I think he's a good backup, and frankly, I think it's better for him if he's a backup that occasionally plays. Maybe he could be Matt Stafford's backup next season, and at least he's got the handcuff here. Our victim here has the handcuff.
Ooh,
that was a great. That was a great trade, Trav.
I've been working it, and there was other folks that would not give up the first with Devontae, and I kept at it, and ended up getting it. So I was stoked that I waited long enough. I was stoked that this league didn't have a deadline, because if this league had a deadline, I wasn't making that trade probably, right? So that's the value is good.
Well, yeah, we can go over the whole argument over trade deadline, no trade deadline, but the trade deadline hurts the rebuilding team, hurts the non-playoff teams for sure.
Yeah.
Trav doesn't get that deal done. He doesn't get a first, a second, and a third from a panicking team. I made a similar trade today, I believe, is when I made this bad boy. Let's see here. So a friend of mine makes it to the semifinals, and he is a Tua team, but he's also a Jaden Daniels team. He was also someone else that's like Flacco or something. He had like a couple of guys that were like, holding him up during the season when Jaden was down or whatever. And, now he could go try and trade for this, that, or the other. But I send him straight up. I just send JJ McCarthy. I'm a rebuilding team. I've got a bunch of picks. I've got a pretty good core, and I've got like McCarthy, JJ McCarthy, Cam Ward, and Jackson Dart. Like, it's fine. But so I sent him McCarthy and Ward for Jaden Daniels. And he says, come on, man. So I'm like, I get it. That's a little fucking light, but now I'm set up to just do the McCarthy and Ward, and I had his 26 first, so I sent him his first back, and he accepted. So it's basically McCarthy and Ward and his own first back to him, and now I have Jaden Daniels and Jackson Dart as sort of the building blocks of a team that I can build around. And for him, it's not a great trade, but it's not a bad trade. And that's the idea. It's like, he would never do that during the season. He's only doing that because he's trying to win money. He needs to have two quarterbacks, really. And he's like, well, what are my pathways to quarterbacks? I could go fish around and see if someone will sell me. I'm still going to probably pay close to a first for a starting quarterback, and it's going to be Stafford or something like that. Maybe I could patch it together with Quinn Ewers. Maybe I could trade for Quinn Ewers, but he's probably going to suck, and then I still don't have whatever. So he was just, and then I haven't fixed the Tua situation. So I understood from his perspective, hey, it's two gambles here, and I get a first just in case for my troubles. So it wasn't the worst trade by him, but certainly people felt like I dominated that trade in the Twitter streets, which I understand, but that opportunity is never there for me unless there's no trade deadline.
Totally. And there's questions around Jaden Daniels now after this season too, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So. Not only that, I mean, you can look at it that's 3 first-round picks, right? It's just like that's how they can look at it.
And he doesn't have to necessarily use that first on a quarterback because he got 2 in the trade.
I also think you hit on a really interesting psychological note there, which is when you give a team their own first back, it's almost like they're forgiven of their sins for having traded that pick in the first place. I've done this a couple times where I got Malik Neighbors earlier this season by giving a team his first back. Right. I traded, speaking of Stafford and Devontae Adams, who we've already touched on, I gave him, he had just lost his quarterback and he had just lost Neighbors. And I gave him Stafford, Devontae Adams, and his first back. And I got Malik Neighbors out of that deal. Amazing. Right? It's just like, now his season's still alive. And actually he's in the semifinal. So he's not mad about it. Right. He's still a first round pick, but like, I think there's secret alpha in like getting someone's first, and then if they make the playoffs, like give it back to him. Give it back to him and get more.
And I've been of the opinion, and this may prove to be wrong. Okay, so I'm not sitting here on my high horse here, but I am saying that I have perceived this 2026 class as a little bit mid. Especially after the top 5, 6, 7, maybe. I don't know how deep it goes. I mean, there's probably going to be a couple of players that like, show themselves during the process. And we're like, actually, we do kind of like so-and-so and so-and-so. But, Jeremiah Love and the 3 wide receivers is 4. And there's a quarterback, I guess. Mendoza's, I guess, going to be something or whatever. But so that's like 5. You got the tight end, Kenyon Sadiq or whatever it is. Okay, look, after that, it gets a little questionable is all I'll say. There's still going to be some good players, of course. But I'm looking at the back end of the first round as sort of like, I don't know. I'd almost be a little bit okay giving up those picks in some situations. Of course, I know people are listening right now in the green room who are probably wondering about this as I am trying to make trades with Mr. J Wood, but it's true. It is true that I feel that way. But here's the thing: I could be wrong about that too, because a first is a first is a first. We could look back and be like, actually, the second half of the first round of 2026 was really good. Look at this, and Denzel Boston and so and so. So. You never do know, and maybe I'm miscalculating that, but I am calculating it that way, and maybe that's right or wrong. I don't know.
I've been faced with the same exact dilemma where it's just like, is my, now that I'm in the semis, right? Is my 109 or worse worth RJ Harvey right now? I kind of think it is, and I kind of
I don't know, right?
I don't know, but it's just like. He's an older prospect and all that, but it's just like
whatever. But I get your point.
Should I just go get RJ Harvey and know that it's going to be better than whatever this 109 to 112 is going to be?
It's maybe interesting. It's also like sometimes I feel like right now is maybe a little bit too early personally to be starting to look at those tiers of draft class because A, I know all about them, right? And B, a lot is going to change. So I'm a little bit cautious when it comes to that stuff, but I think as we move closer, we're going to be looking at that big time. And if you were listening to us last year, we were talking about all those little cliffs, which is a major edge for us in those drafts. And so we'll get there for sure. But I think
that's kind of the thing though, Trav, you're right. Is like, I say this today and in a couple of months, us 3 will be sitting here going, remember when Jackson, that was bullshit. This is fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever, so we'll see.
Not only that, regardless, every April, there's nothing that makes me more sad than not having a first round pick.
Yes,
right?
Totally.
I will move so much stuff to get it back in the game.
That's what I was going to say too. And that's reflected in the value that you're going to get in those trades for those picks, right? Because right now it still shows as 2026 first round pick, but after the season, it's going to show as 2026 109. So it looks a little bit different for folks. So
totally. Absolutely.
Good points there too, boys. Who's got another trade for me?
Oh, I've got so many.
Many. I dropped mine while you were doing yours. I haven't actually made that many trades in the last week. So, Jax, you go ahead.
Yeah, so let me do. So I'm in the biggest money league that I'm in with a shot. Is a 12 by 12, I think, and my team is good. And I traded a 2026 second. This was maybe a week or so ago. Just before just after this, about a week ago, I got Mike Evans and Darren Waller for Chiga Okonkwo in a second, 26 second. I feel pretty good about that. Should be a late second. So, I mean, getting Mike Evans and Darren Waller for that was huge. And sometimes it's just fishing around. Here's the thing.
That's crazy.
But here's the thing. Sometimes, so the particular manager that is, when he says he's selling or if he's doing something, he's not going to not do it. He's doing it. And what happens a lot of times is people aren't paying attention, or they're paying attention, but they're like, I don't really want Mike Evans or whatever. Like, they just don't put their foot in the door. They don't put their action in, and you miss out. A lot of people were like, what the fuck or whatever, but it's like, did you make an offer, asshole? Like, he said, I'm selling Mike Evans. He said it. So that means to me, I'm there. And he in the group chat or the league chat, he actually said, I've got a couple of offers. Does anybody else want some? He was like legit doing the thing. And so I'm like just holding steady and waiting for like a little bit of communication. I feel like he would have come to me if I was close or whatever. And instead, all of a sudden, it just went through. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So that was my original offer without counter. Obviously, it was the best deal that he had received from anybody else.
I think that's strong.
Was that before? That was before Thursday night game where Mike Evans went nuclear.
I don't remember actually. I'd have to look at the date. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But it's just like the point of the matter was I was like, I know that he's back. I know, it's crazy. It's just, but that's kind of the game theory 101 too. There, it's just like pay attention and make sure that your hat is in the ring. To me, Mike Evans has tremendous value in this league because it's a deeper league too.
I think that's interesting too, because for that person, if they're rebuilding, Evans and Waller mean nothing to them for longer than just the rest of this season, right? Like Evans does nothing for them next year. And if that person's looking at those guys as potential retirees at the end of this season, then they just got a second round pick for stretch run rental players. And so I think that's a fine trade for each. And so I don't even necessarily know if the league should be chirping about the value on that. And to your point, just pay more attention, folks.
Yeah. I think it was after Mike Evans, but before Waller just had the 2 touchdowns.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes sense. The thing I found, just tangentially, the thing I found myself thinking on that Thursday night game is Mike Evans isn't retiring. No. Mike Evans is still awesome and can continue to be awesome for a very long time. The injuries might keep happening as he gets older, but he was dominating that game, right? He's not like, if he's lost a step, he had a step to lose. He's still a dominant NFL wide receiver. Why would he retire?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, it's like Devontae Adams. It's like Devontae Adams too, right over in Los Angeles.
I'll give you another one. Wiz and I do a league together. And in this league, we've been consistently starting Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, and Christian Watson in our 3 wide receivers. It's rough. Now we do have Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Kyron Williams, a couple good tight ends. I forget who. Whatever. We've got a pretty good squad. And we have Pitts.
I had him on the
I know which team you're talking about.
Yeah. So but we're super light in wide receiver. We need some wide receiver help. And so we just had played against Dukes, who is an Indianapolis fan. And we're a little bit afraid of Jonathan Taylor down the stretch. And we're like, hey, man, we can win this thing, I think. And so we send him a trade. We have Travis Hunter. We sent him a trade. We're getting Drake London back, and we're sending some stuff back and forth. Also, Mike Evans, Jonathan Taylor, etc. There's a big trade. He counters back, and he says he just wants Jonathan Taylor, and we can have Mike Evans and Christian McCaffrey.
That's nice.
So going into the semis, we're like, all right, here's the deal. Obviously, in Dynasty, Jonathan Taylor is ahead of Christian McCaffrey because he's younger, had a dope season. But that's not the calculus for this particular team. We're in the semis. The calculus is the difference. Yes. We're putting Mike Evans in immediately. So, like, in this build, we're like, dude, Mike Evans is a godsend. Otherwise, we're playing like Terrell Shavers or something. I don't even know. Like, Dontavian Wicks, I think, is actually our next best, like, I guess we got to play him if like Christian Watson doesn't play. So like it's a big difference in points. And obviously we do expect Christian McCaffrey to outscore Jonathan Taylor in the next couple of games. That may or may not be true, but it's projection wise, he's ahead. So we're just getting points right now. Are those points enough? And we feel like they are because we've got a pretty competitive team given the rest of the roster. We couple that one to a Jalen McMillan, which I know you guys know a little bit about this one. Jalen McMillan and a fourth for Cortland Sutton to a
Hold
team
on,
that's selling.
before you get to that, I want to talk about the first trade.
Please.
And what a great freaking trade that is for both sides.
Yes.
Right?
That's what we felt.
Yeah.
Because it was a great counter. As soon as he countered Joe, I text Wiz and I go, look at this poetry counter.
I love Duke so much, and he is such a good player. That was a diagnosis of exactly what your team needed, while he goes and gets the most valuable asset in the deal. And it's not like one of those he got pulled one over on you or you pulled one over on him.
We knew the game.
Yeah, you knew the game. And all right, let's say after this season ends, right? You're trying to offload those assets. Are you going to get a first for Mike Evans? Probably not. Are you going to get a first for Christian McCaffrey? Maybe a late first. Maybe, right? John, but it's like, what are
Taylor could fetch a late first. Yeah,
a late first, an early second, and a championship.
I'll take it.
Exactly.
Changes the calculus completely. So such a smart counter by Dukes and such a win-win trade. I love that so much. So anyways, I know what you're getting to next. Go ahead and get to that. But I just want to point out, first of all, shout out Dukes.
Yes, Dukes is a stud. And so then it's like, well, Sutton might be available. And here's the thing about Sutton. I want all of you guys listening right now to close your eyes and remember and just think. When was the last time, if you own Sutton, that someone sent you a trade offer for fucking Cortland Sutton? Nobody ever sends you offers for Sutton. If you own Sutton and you're trying to sell him, nobody's like, oh, you know what? I'm interested. Nobody's ever interested in Cortland Sutton. I don't know what it is. There's certain players like this that people are just like, nah, I don't know.
It's because they saw him. I can actually answer this question. It's because they saw him have one bad year in his super prime.
Yep.
And that degraded his value forever, right? And so he rebounded, and he's been actually great. And if he had just had like an average year instead of that one bad year when he was like 28, then his value would have held and probably still be much higher today. That's why. If you lose a year in your super prime, and by the way, I think we're going to see the same thing happen with Justin Jefferson. I think his value is going to stay depressed. Side note. Anyways, continue.
No, it's true. I love it. So, I mean, it's like nobody ever does. So we offer Jalen McMillan and DJ Giddens for Sutton. We get countered with Jalen McMillan and a fourth. God bless us, United States of America. We snap, accept, and the league melted down. It was pretty awesome. The number one seed did not like that we were able to retool and put together Cortland Sutton, Mike Evans, and CMC in our lineups and only had to give up a struggling JT. And now all of a sudden we're formidable. We're putting out Gibbs and CMC and pretty good wide receiver core. Unfortunately, it includes Justin Jefferson, but we're riding him still. So we're good.
At least he's got a good schedule. Coming up. So
the schedule has not done shit. It didn't do anything for him this last week. It was pretty brutal. I've got another one too. I've got so many. These are I've been having so much fun. I think these are all examples of like. So I did trade for Justin Jefferson as well, and I think we're primed to sell Justin Jefferson. I put it out there. We didn't. I got a shitty offer from Joe, which I think was a joke. But
it was a revenge offer. Actually, it was a revenge.
There's no such thing as a revenge offer. There's no such thing. I've already forgotten all the
time. I'm gonna waste your time. Yeah. No, there's a revenge.
You're not wasting my time. I'm on Sleeper all day long. So you're the one who wasted your time by putting that shit together. I'm looking at it, whatever. I'm looking at your stupid trade or anything else. You didn't waste my time. All right, check this. I'm on Sleeper all the time. Anyway.
You have a problem, sir.
The screen time on Sleeper is a fucking problem. But it'll go away soon, and then it'll be like PFF and like shit like that. All right, listen, this is the one. Total rebuild for me. I just lost so many. I had Terry McLaurin and Mike Evans as like key parts of this. Like it's a 14-by-12. Super tough to put a squad together. I think I lost Neighbors too. Neighbors, McLaurin, and Evans. Like, come on, it's just over. It was Jover. I mean, I have Achan, I have Amon-Ra, So this guy's going for it. He's got Jefferson. I basically sell him Mike Evans, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Rachaad White. Amon-Ra, Mike Evans, Rachaad White. For Justin Jefferson, I get 2 throw-ins, Tank Dell and DJ Giddens, his 26 first and his 27 second.
So
That's
wait,
awesome.
I'm sorry.
That is awesome.
Repeat this. You got the Amon-Ra side?
No, I
You
gave
got the
that
Jefferson
You
side.
gave up Amon-Ra,
Evans and Rachaad White.
Yep.
Evans and Rachaad White for JJ and who else?
Tank Dell, Giddens, and a first.
Oh, the first puts it over the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember this now.
The first puts it over the top. It should be a late 26 first, but who cares? I mean, I'm basically turning the way I looked at this deal is I'm turning Amon-Ra into Justin Jefferson, which right now should cost you something. It shouldn't be free. Like, that's if you're a competitor, you should have to pay some sort of tax to turn Jefferson into Amon-Ra to finish the season.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, that's even because I'm next year. So let me see if there's some profit in the rest of this deal. The way I looked at it, I just said, okay, I'm getting rid of Mike Evans and Rachaad White.
Got a first for Evans.
Getting a first, and that's the way I looked at it. So
That's nice.
Rachaad White and Mike Evans for a first. That's not typically what you're going to get for those two guys packaged together. I think it's a fair trade. Actually, a lot of people were like thinking I roasted this deal and killed him. I was like,
I think you won.
Maybe, but I mean, I think it's a fair deal. I mean, he's winning too because he gets to put more production in his lineup to try and go win.
Winning
right
the
now.
trade.
That's the whole thing. This is why trade deadlines should not exist because the calculus changes so much when the championship is within reach, right? This is when like the most interesting deals happen. Like in 2 weeks, this guy might hate himself, right? He might absolutely hate himself. But if he wins a title, that's a big middle finger to the rest of the league. It's like, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, you do what you need to do to win. And if you're a rebuilding team, you do what you need to do to rebuild so that you can win.
Exactly.
Okay, I've got one last one, then we're done.
I got some after that. You go first.
No, okay, I'll do my last one. So
I feel like I have not been active enough talking to you two. Jesus.
Here's the thing. So there's another league where I have been it's the undrafted league where there's a lot of active managers. They're really great. They obviously probably listen to this show too, as well as the undrafted. And so they're hip to the sort of action and activity. They're really sending some great smart trades in that particular league. I do have Josh Allen, and I think I'm overachieving. Like, I'm not a really great team. I'm an underdog by quite a bit. I think I'm like projected to score like 180, 175, and my competitor's like 220. Like, I'm a big dog. He's got all sorts of the A-Chain and Gibbs or whatever. God bless him. He's and I don't have running backs. I have like Kamani Vidal and Tajay Spears as my RB1 and RB2. Hey, I'm in the semis. Go fuck yourself. Don't tell me what to do. All right. So that's what I'm rolling with. And like, I've had some stuff go my way. Kamani Vidal was really helpful down the stretch. I thought about making a trade for a running back, as do my league mates think I should. And they're sending me stuff. But here's the thing. They're smartly sending me trade offers that include me paying a profit to get the production. And I've had to tell a couple of them, listen, you guys are spot on. You guys, these are great offers. But I'm not, my team doesn't necessitate me making these types of moves. I don't have enough assets. I'm not loaded for bear in draft assets. I'm not even sure if whomever you're trying to sell me here, whether it's Derrick Henry or, Javonte Williams or whatever, if I add that, I don't even know if it does anything for me.
Yeah.
I may just lose by less. I'll lose by 30 instead of 40. I don't think it's really the right move. I said I would make a trade on value straight up, but that may not be something you're interested in. And that's cool. So I'm almost sitting it out in that particular league. And so it's not to say that in every league you should just do whatever and go for it, because I'm almost specifically not doing it in that league because of the situation I'm in. I'm either going to get some sort of miraculous Josh Allen and everything lines up my way and I win that week, or not. Probably not. I'm a very big dog. Anyway, brings me to another team. So I didn't make a trade. No trades. it's important. I wanted to preface that because I think
be honest with yourself, what your team is.
Totally.
Yes, man. I'm in a lot of leagues. I'm not trading in every single league, or it doesn't always present itself. I'm in 20 some odd leagues. I've said 4, 5, 6, 7 trades here. That's 20, 30% of them. You're going to be able to find something happen. So look, maybe a quarter of the time you're going to find a good trade in if you're in one league. Anyway, I'm in another league and I'm totally loaded. I am fucking loaded. I have Ashen Genty, Breece Hall, Gibbs, ETN, Chase, Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, Neighbors. Like I have the 102 this coming year. I'm going to be like, I'm just loaded. I'm loaded. Lamar, Jackson Dart. But I'm like, I've got Breece. I've got some stuff here. I've got like Addison, Pittman. I've got depth at the wide receiver position. Franklin, Luther Burden. Like it's a fucking dope team. I'm like, but I got to start like Breece Hall here. Like Breece Hall is scary. And you guys can talk about Breece Hall when I'm done sharing this trade. So I send Breece Hall and Michael Pittman and a 26 second for CMC and a 26 third, and it lit the league on fire because I'm the prohibitive favorite. But I still went and made a trade, because, and I was even trying to offer more for more because I'm like, I've got multiple first round picks. I'm like crazy loaded, but I still went and made a trade to make myself better because I don't want to lose. I'm actually more invested in that team winning and willing to extend my favorite, in that league to win it. So anyway, just to point out that,
ABT, always be trading. I love it. I love it. So you just hit on examples of you're out and you're just trying to rebuild. Yep. You're in and you're trying to improve your team. You're in and you do nothing because you don't have a real chance, or you're the prohibitive favorite and you're still making trades to get even better. And I love that because that's exactly how you play Dynasty. You have to look at every single team, every single situation, and constantly be turning over rocks and figuring out which ones like are worth like digging into more. So that's, I don't know. I just love all of it. Mm-hmm. Trav, I know you have a trade you want to get to, but I just want to throw out one concept to you guys, just because Jax, as you were talking about this, it reminded me of some shicey stuff that I just tried doing.
Like the offer you sent me earlier?
No. Way shystier.
Oh, I did something shicey to Trav too.
Way shystier. So I'm in the semis. Yeah. I'm in the semis in one league, right? And I'm the 2 seed. Another team is the 1 seed. And the team that's playing the 1 seed just lost Patrick Mahomes. Right? And I want that guy to win, right? Because I'd much rather face them in the finals. So I did something very ill-advised where I was like trying to send them a quarterback just to give them a chance, because they don't have another viable quarterback, right? They're starting skill position player, not a quarterback in their super flex spot right now. So I'm trying to send them a quarterback so that they can knock off the 1 seed. And so I was just like, as I was sending the trade over, I was like, this might be the dumbest thing you've ever done. Because if this team wins and then comes and beats you with the guy that you traded to them, you're going to feel like just such a jackass. But I'm just going through range of outcomes and possibilities. I'm like, can he really pull the upset special 2 weeks in a row? If he beats them, is he really going to come and then beat me the following week? I don't think so. Right? It's just probabilities. So, but I just bring it up for the fact that, like, what I'm doing is not it's not collusion by any means. I'm trying to pull a profit out of this trade, but I am doing something to screw over one of my who I view as my main competition.
You're not colluding because the guy you're colluding with doesn't know you're colluding with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But I definitely have. There's definitely malice in my intent, though.
Of course, malice is legal. Colluding is illegal. If the guy has no clue you're doing it, he's like, no, I thought it was a good deal. I clicked accept. You're like, you're a smart guy.
Anyways, it wasn't accepted yet. The trade wasn't accepted yet. So I'm about to drop my price. I'm like, listen, just take a fucking quarterback.
Jay, first of all, the green room with the comment of the day, he goes, it's redistricting.
That's so good. So I'm willing to. All right, so here's the silly thing, though. It's like I'm like I'll take a third. Just take a quarterback. All right, just go win this game.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Who are you trying to send him?
I was throwing out Phillip Rivers. I was throwing out who's Miami's quarterback this week? The guy from Texas.
Ewers.
Yeah. Throwing out Ewers. I was just like, here, just just throw me something back.
I don't
something
even know if
close to
those
equal
guys
value.
actually help him win.
No.
Huh?
I think I'd rather have Kenny Gainwell in the Superflex spot than those two guys. Seriously.
What they have is worse. What they have is worse than that. So I'm just like, just give yourself a fighting chance, and maybe I take a profit in the meantime. And anyways,
you sent me Ewers in a second for Luther Burden today, you little rascal, and I declined that one instantly. But I like your style, trying to get something out of Ewers.
Sorry, I feel very good about the fact that I sold 0 Luther Burdens over the course of the season because nobody was offering a first.
Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't offering me a first, that was the point of entry for Luther Burden conversations. Yeah. Because while I only spent an early second in every situation that I have of all the Luther Burdens I have, which I probably have a handful, maybe 4 or 5 out of 20, 25 leagues, I really don't care. Those Luther Burdens that I have they're my little farm. I planted them. I've been watering them. I'm waiting for the sun to rise and set every day. I make sure I check on them. I look at their little yards per route run. And I'm like, you're a little seedling. And I'm waiting for Luther Burden to grow up into a full-fledged plant. And they're coming in here going, I'll give you, what you paid for the seeds. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I've been farming this thing, So that's why I look at Luther Burden. He might die and it's worth nothing, but I'm not selling equal. That's not one of those types of play. That's an upside play. We knew it going in. So it's not, I'm not liquidating out of fucking Luther Burden. No. And he's been dope.
We even said that this could be a lost year too, right? And I mean,
we knew it.
Yeah,
you got sweat equity into those seeds, brother.
That's right.
It's
lots of hard work.
Here's the thing. Luther Burden is the sneakiest, awesome rookie we've ever seen because all his underlying metrics
through the roof,
phenomenal.
Unreal,
phenomenal. Anybody who has these underlying metrics, aside from Martavius Bryant, went on to have just a sterling, just beautiful career.
Yes.
Right. But nobody knows because he hasn't had that monster game yet. Right. It's all been kind of small sample size, and he might be out this week. I think Luther Burden is still a buy low in most of your dynasty leagues, and just nobody knows how good this dude is yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to buy very, very high if you're buying from me.
It's going to be the quietest. It's going to be my quietest victory lap of all time because no one's going to care that, I had this guy way up there in the ranks going into the season. But anyway,
look, I was listening to ETR as well, which was interesting. And they were just shit talking this, that, or the other. They weren't necessarily getting into dynasty conversation, but they were saying that maybe Luther Burden is the best wide receiver in this class. And I will just say that is not out of the woods. We're not out of the woods with that conversation. Nope. Ibuka, Burden, Tetero McMillan, Jay's boy Jaden Higgins potentially has a shot at that. I don't think he will be, but I do think that. And what's funny is I had the Twitter terrorist coming after me all the time with the we all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name; he doesn't deserve to be mentioned. But the Twitter terrorist comes on and is always asking me about my Ibuka wide receiver 1 takes, and I'll just say this. He probably still is the wide receiver 1 in the class, but we said very consistently over and over and over and over and over again that the class was not as good as other elite classes. So these guys are all probably late first, early second round type of prospects that could, become more than that. Amon-Ra St. Brown became more than that from, even the second round, whatever. So I'm not saying that they don't have the opportunity to be better than that. They just, as prospects, were not that good. So even if I think Ibuka is the wide receiver 1, I still don't think he was a top 6 pick in a rookie draft. Just I'd say that so that people can understand that.
And not only that,
there's nuance and
not only that, but we also said Ibuka is the safest bet, but that Burden has the highest ceiling.
Yes.
And I think walking out of this season with 3 weeks left to go, we're gonna feel the same way going into year 2. We're just like, oh my god, dude, have you guys seen these Luther Burden stats over here? Dude, this guy's about to explode.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the man.
All right, Trav, I feel like we've been edging you for like 20 minutes. You didn't want to talk
You've been what? Excuse me?
I'm sorry. I thought this was a Ben.
Hey, look at the time. Guys, I got to cut this show a little short. I'll talk to you guys later, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to go too, Jax. We'll let Joe just...
I thought it was you two were just going to do a show together.
Yeah, I feel... yeah, well, anyway. I have a couple of trades, boys, that are centered around the same player. One of them is a sell, and one of them was a buy of one Terry McLaurin. I think he is like a poster child for being traded right now because perfect sell if you're out of it, perfect buy if you want something that's affordable and will help you in that wide receiver spot. And the first one, let's start with the sell because this actually, this was the buy, and it came into my inbox actually. So
smash was the advice when you asked
an absolute smash. Yeah, I had to do a double take and ask you guys because I thought that I might be missing something here.
Right.
But the offer was to send me Terry McLaurin and a third for Jalen McMillan. And so I absolutely had to smash that, of course. I
what are we even talking about?
And I paid a third for Jalen McMillan in that league. So I felt like Terry McLaurin was just essentially free. Not going to mention the person's name, but they said, oh, shit, I offered that to you. So there could have been a little bit of a mistake in that offer, but I sent it or I accepted it because it was in my inbox. I wasn't going to ask any questions. I needed that wide receiver, and so I took
Definitely.
it.
That's one you just press accept and turn off your phone.
This is the problem with us being in so many leagues together and also going to each other for advice because tangentially, there's another side story here that you don't know about, Trav, which is that Jax had just offered me a garbage offer. The same deal he got for Cortland Sutton is what he offered to me for Terry McLaurin. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm not.
I offered him Jalen McMillan and a third for Terry McLaurin.
No,
I was like,
and a fourth. It was a
fourth, I think maybe third, fourth.
Yeah.
Third, fourth swap. That's what it was.
No. Yeah. But I'm a Terry McLaurin truther, so
yeah.
You know.
So he was like, "Go fuck yourself." I'm like, and then you send that one over. And he's like hesitating. I'm like, "What are you hesitating for? You just fucking told me that." Blah, blah, blah. So like, anyway, it was like, the Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, you sent that trade, and then Jax just laughed, and I was like, "No."
That's another problem about us being in all these leagues and playing together is our trade values that we see can play off of each other's trade values that we're trying to. Yeah, that's interesting too.
So all I learned is that Terry McLaurin is grossly mispriced.
Yes, let's hear the sell.
Yeah, the sell was interesting because it was just somebody who threw out looking for a veteran wide receiver for some production. So I went and looked at my roster, and Terry McLaurin was sitting there with a shining beacon around him. And so I went in, I was taking a look. There's not really much for 26 picks. Only a third was the best pick for 26. 27 there was a second, third, and then 28 there was the whole gamut. And I didn't think I was going to get the 27 second, but I put out there to send McLaurin and something small for the 27 second. They came back off of that, or McLaurin and something for the second and the 26 third. They came back off that, didn't want to give up the second, and so I switched it to a 26, 27, and 28 third. And I got all three of those thirds for Terry McLaurin just straight up. And so I felt pretty good about that because he does nothing for me. Those thirds can be whatever, but if I hit on one of them, I think it's worth it. And so if I have three of them, I should be able to hit on one of them. And I think I got an extra pick in the next 3 drafts. And so I was happy about that.
This is one that I hate. Sorry, I don't mean to end on a hating note, but Terry McLaurin is better than 3/3, bro. Terry McLaurin is a 2 seconds kind of guy. In my opinion,
2 seconds for McLaurin. That would imply that you could get a first for him in some pockets. And I think that's absolutely not happening.
I would not take, as Jax knows, I would not take a second straight up from McLaurin. McLaurin, it just signed a new contract before this season. He's playing well right now, despite all the injuries. He's tied to a young quarterback. Like, I know he's getting up there, but I don't know. And this is where the difference is between my assessment of McLaurin and the market, right? Where it's just like, I think this dude is dope. There's nothing you can do to convince me that he's not dope. And not only that, his game is one that is definitely going to be that's going to age well, right? Like it's not like he's not winning with physicality. He's not obviously there's a certain level of athleticism, but he's a technician out there who's not afraid to jump up and get the ball. So I don't know. I think he's just going to continue to be good for 3 or 4 more years.
I think it's okay. I don't hate it, but I do think that probably Joe represents the bull case for McLaurin. It has definitely been a fan of his, and probably represents the high side of the valuation of Terry McLaurin. I would say that to your original point, Joe, before just on picks, that 26 third is going to become a 27 second, is going to become a 28 second, is going to become, by 28 you're going to have a first round pick out of that deal. You know, the way that you sort of turn pick, you know what I mean. I'm not saying
I do know what you mean, but
just that you're going to have, you're going to take the 26 third, turn it into a 27 second, then you'll have a 27 second and a 27 third. You can take those two, turn it into 220, 8 seconds, and then all of a sudden, you get my point. You're able to sort of push that down. I do like the sort of waterfall effect of having, a third in each draft coming up. It sort of replenishes. It gives you some maneuverability. I do know that when I'm adding, third, fourth swaps, they can be pretty, attractive to people. Having enough thirds to do that is good.
Yeah.
So I guess it's still somewhat currency. I would not look at it like I'm going to hit on one of those 3 players. I just look at it as like, great, I've just got, it's like throwing cash into your machine. Like, it's like, yeah, I'd rather have hundreds and $1,000 bills, but you just gave me $120 bills. That's a lot of money too. I'll just fucking see what I got later on.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
At
I
the
can just
very
sort of spend
least,
it.
I got 3 rookies coming in at the very least if I sat on them, right?
Yeah. I think I'd be more inclined though, and this is maybe just a stylistic thing, but I think I'd be more inclined to be like McLaurin in a second for a third, or McLaurin and a third for, I don't know. That's probably not enough for me. But yeah, it's just something like that. Just like make McLaurin a piece to go get something bigger if you're
Something
trying to
more
offload
premium.
McLaurin, like, to a contender that could use an extra starter right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think maybe what comes in there is that I was pouncing on somebody in the chat who just said that they wanted a veteran wide receiver, so I just had one target as opposed to the league being targets too.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
you do have one target. Sometimes I'll look at that team and I try to get as creative as possible. I just go up and down their roster and look for stuff that isn't producing for them right now. That's where
I go
Tank
too.
Dell came from.
There wasn't much, boys. There wasn't
nobody
much.
Wants
the only
Tank
young
Dell.
asset, Matthew Golden. It's absolutely the only.
And maybe you buy
asset.
him to sell him, whatever. You get my point. Like, I'm not really interested in buying Matthew Golden, but like the Tank Dell throw in, it's like nobody's like gonna hold up a trade because I asked for Tank Dell. Yet at the same time, I don't know, in 8 to 10 months, if Tank Dell was running slot routes with CJ Stroud, you wouldn't be like, where did this come from? You'd be like, yeah, remember, he was fucking dope. This is definitely something that could happen. So, this stuff sort of it's a shot, so you can take a shot with some of those players that aren't playing. The Terrence Ferguson's a great buy because he's doing nothing for a team. Like, that's another great one you can target. Elijah Arroyo, like, there's just a number of types of players that you can go after that aren't doing shit that could actually become something down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Can we change gears here? And I'm sorry to hijack the show here, Trav, but I think we're all done talking about trades. Can we talk about? Listen, I have a lot of rebuilding teams this year, and so I'm having to make some alpha loser moves, and I want people to be aware of these moves because they're out there. Did you guys know that Damian Martinez tried out for the Chiefs yesterday?
Wow.
That's a pretty interesting combination, and I think we talked about him landing on the Chiefs before, in the pre-draft process. I was like, man, that would be a pretty sweet outcome. Obviously, everything is in flux with the Chiefs right now, but I just want to point out he was available in about half of my leagues, and I put bids on him on almost all of those. The only leagues he wasn't available in are leagues that I'm with either of you in, because you both owned him in all of those leagues. So I just want to point that out. Like, David Martinez might have a job. By the time you hear this podcast, he might be on the Chiefs, and it might be too late. But I just want to say, Martinez go get him if he's out there. Phil Maffa is coming off of IR in week 17, I believe, or he's eligible to come off of IR in week 17. He's a completely forgotten dude. Not super athletic, not a guy we're super excited about in the pre-draft process, but it's the Dallas backfield where we're not really particularly thrilled about anybody in that backfield. And then the other one I need to point out, Rashee Rice is concussed, probably not playing this week. Patrick Mahomes is injured, so nobody's thinking about this at all. But Jalen Royals might be available for real cheap right now. And like, I've thrown out a bunch of offers. I have him in a bunch of leagues. I think he could do a very nice Rashee Rice impression. I don't think there's any reason for them to bring Rashee Rice back in. And this is his little tryout period before he's done a damn thing in the NFL. I think he should be super cheap. And I think he's worth putting flyers out for because this is a prospect that we liked that can play inside and outside. So just don't forget about those prospects, especially these last couple of weeks of the season. Even if you're a losing team, even if you're out of the playoffs, there are still marginal moves that you can be making right now that can pay big dividends in the future.
Yeah, these are early tryouts, right? Like these guys are getting little tryouts to see if they can be a thing for 2026. Don't necessarily expect them to have any impact on your roster for this season. Joe's definitely saying that's a rebuild take, but you got
this is your team's in the gutter. What should you be doing right now? If you're still listening to this show, this is what you should be doing.
If you're still listening to this show, that's good. That's good.
Hey, I'm in a one quarterback league. Just to give you an example, I'm in a one quarterback league where you can put like players who are out on the IR. So you can usually load up your IR. It's a relatively shallow league, but like I was on the waiver wire. I'm the only one that bid on 4 of these players, and I picked up 5 players on waivers. Colby Parkinson was a huge one. I spent all the money. Audric Estime, Malik Davis, Marcus Mariota, Dante Thornton. Like they were all like, now granted, it's a one quarterback league, so the Mariota thing, you're like, how is he on waivers? But like these guys are all on waivers, and it's like, I picked up in one league, I'm out of the playoffs. Right? And I picked up Michael Carter and Audric Estime. And I put like $30 bids, and someone was like, a little overpriced, don't you think? I'm like, what am I waiting for?
Yeah,
like,
what's it for?
Yeah, you can't take your tab with you.
Like, I'm not in the playoffs. I don't even want Michael Carter or Audric Estime. But if someone wants to, like, nobody wants them, then they're on my team. What difference does it make? It doesn't actually affect whether I have them or not. I don't give a shit. But if someone does want them, now I have them. I can get a 4th for them or something. So, like, it's funny. He's just like, by just kind of churning and just being there may be some Jalen Royals opportunities. He may be on waivers in some of these leagues is kind of the point.
Like, in FFPC leagues, he's definitely on waivers.
Yeah.
I added a few of him this week. In FFPC leagues, another dude that's on waivers that I got this week was Estime, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna laugh because I'm the last Evan Hole truther.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
I got a bunch of Evan Hole this week.
He's starting for me in a league this week. I will say I'm not in the playoffs, but
I am starting him in 2 leagues this week. And yeah, it's these leagues where you have these loser pool tournaments to improve draft position, right? And we're
exactly.
Yeah, we're starting Evan Hole.
I'm
finally going to get a return on this emotional investment.
That's great.
Evan Hole. So he's one that I didn't mention, but Royals, Hole, and Martinez. Oh my God, dude. Again, by the time you listen to this, he may be on the Chiefs or he may not have made it, but it's a prospect we liked. And I think the fit on that team is particularly good. Listen, he can do everything Kareem Hunt can do as a runner with way more power and probably more burst. He's not the receiver Hunt is, but dude, he can get all that short yardage stuff that Hunt is getting for them right now. And Hunt ain't got much time left on the clock.
No.
I always wonder why these guys are let go, though. It's kind of the Izzy Abanikanda theory. Like, I was an Izzy Abanikanda fan. Why? Because he was a big guy, run fast. But obviously, if he keeps getting cut, he must be big guy, run fast, not too smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something's not right, because big guy run fast has to be valuable if he can just be like, hey, we'll run over here. And he's like, gotcha. But if he's like, huh? Then they're like, we're gonna have to let you go. You're just not.
Well,
we'll take a slightly slower guy who understands what we're saying. So sometimes I wonder, like Damian Martinez has been that type of guy where he's been like, yeah, we're fine wherever you want to go. You just get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? So that's a little scary. So I wonder.
What's interesting about that is like, he was on Seattle where they obviously already had two very good running backs ahead of him. And then Helani made the team over him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Helani is not a guy we thought a lot of from a prospect profile standpoint, but
he's good, but that's kind of an indictment on I'm not saying that
you got to beat out George Helani. You got to beat out George Helani.
Right? Yeah. If you're going to be a guy, right?
My point is, you can go back to our March episodes and you can hear me say Damian Martinez on the Chiefs would be pretty dope. And now he's trying out for the Chiefs. So I have not forgotten about that.
He's worth a pick. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, at some point we get excited and it never happens. But on the flip side, we do see some guys that show themselves. I'm missing some off the top of my head, but tell me a running back this year who did something that we never thought would do anything. I mean,
Jawar Jordan on Sunday.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great
bingo.
point.
Good one.
Bingo.
Yeah. Okay, boys, we are actually going to ride this episode out with question of the week because we spent almost an hour on some trade alpha there, but I think it was fun stuff talking about things that folks can do in the various situations that they might be in their dynasty leagues with only 2 weeks left to go in the season. And like Joe mentioned earlier, it is just about primetime season for us dynasty gamers. And so we got to ride this out though. We got to win these championships.
And Trav, I think the other one that, people should just be aware of is the Patrick Mahomes thing, because it's very likely that whomever has Patrick Mahomes is in the playoffs. I mean, we have a Patrick Mahomes team. Yeah. We share one that we joined a league together and we co-manage a team, all three of us. Now, it just so happens in that league, what do we have? We have Goff and Dart and plenty of stuff.
We're fine.
We're not looking to make a move. We don't need to make a desperation move. We're just going to play some backup players that we have that'll fill the role. But that's not always the case. Sometimes someone is like devastated. And whether you have Gardner Minshew, because I'm sure if you listen to this program, you're rostering all of the backup quarterbacks in the NFL that your stupid league mates are too chicken shit to put on their roster, and you're dropping useless wide receivers to pick them up. You've already done that. So you have Gardner Minshew and Quinn Ewers on your roster, and now's the time to go take advantage of the teams that may have lost a quarterback, and you're able to be a quarterback seller, whether it's Kirk Cousins or whomever, right? There's just the list goes on, and if you have been stacking quarterbacks, you have at least one, a Mariota, a Cousins, a Ewers, right? A Minshew. These are all guys that nobody wanted to have on their team, but right now a super flex team is dying to have one of these dudes.
Quinn Ewers costs you a fifth. This is where you get your third. Yep. And I think this is harkening back to our last conversation. This is why I have an issue trading Terry McLaurin for 3/3, because I get my thirds by tiering up from dudes that I drafted in the 4th and 5th. I don't tier down from high quality players, right? Just use Minshew to go get a third. Use Ewers to go get a third, right? Sell for anything you can get right now to go get that 3rd round pick for this bum that everybody knows sucks, but someone's desperate and needs to throw someone in there.
I mean, look at Kirk Cousins has put up a couple of nice lines over the past few weeks, and he's usable. He's a usable QB2 for someone who's desperate, who just lost Patrick Mahomes and or Tua and or Jaden Daniels and or list goes on.
I'm making Ewers for a 3rd trades right now as we talk. Go ahead. I'm mad at myself. I didn't do this yet.
Okay, so question of the week comes from Curdy.
Question of the week, yeah.
Comes from Curdy.
Yep.
Our guy, fellow undroppable, in fact. It's a good one though. He gave it to you, Jax, on the old X machine. He says, given the vast number of restaurants, grocery stores, and any food place that offers some form of chicken product, how many chickens have to be alive at one time globally? And how is that possible? That's a pretty insane question.
It was such a good question because, like, I've thought about magnitude issues before, just being like, wait, electricity. Like, just how many fucking watts of electricity are, it's like crazy to start thinking about, right? Like, what? So it's just like crazy. The chicken one, it really bugged me a little bit because I'm like, dude, I fuck up a chicken, you know what I mean? Like I'm out there, I will fuck up a chicken, and like there's places you go where it's like chicken wings or whatever, and like you'll get like 100 with your homies, like
Yeah.
you'll literally eat 100 chicken wings like with a homie and like 4 beers and be like, you want to go out to dinner? You know what I mean?
Chickens.
Like we'll just exactly. So like there's chicken shops just fucking selling a chicken sandwich every 20 seconds, like just whop 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 whop. Like the amount of chickens, I can't even begin to. I love this question. I have no idea. Are we gonna have to put forth a guess? I don't know. This is crazy.
Well, the way I would kind of attack it is I would start to try and do a little bit of math on it to see if I could have some sort of education in my guess. You know what I'm saying? And so like, what would we say is a good like average chickens per day consumed by a human, right? Like, and then
you're on to something there,
right? Because we would have to figure out what the average is, and we can't really figure that out. And that would be like, it could be figured out globally, but I ain't able to do it.
Right.
Because then there's some countries who maybe it's a little bit more sparse, and then there's places where there's farms of the fucking things, and you don't see any less than 100 in a group anywhere you look, right?
So I'll do the math. What are there, like 200? Hold on, wait, real quick. There's what, like 200,000 people. We each eat 5 chickens a day, so like 1 million chickens, right? Am I onto it?
Very good, very good.
Give or take, yeah.
So
I'm
all right,
tiptoeing on the right answer is all I'm saying.
I am disqualified from this question.
What?
I'm going to recuse myself because I have already. Curdy asked this question. I was like, Curdy's a smart motherfucker. You know why? Because I've already thought about this and I already know the answer because I looked it up. But before I looked it up, I went through this exact same exercise. So I'm going to give you guys just a little trip down memory lane.
Okay.
On my honeymoon, I got married about 4 years back. On my honeymoon, my wife and I went to Thailand. And in Bangkok, I was just blown away by all the street food everywhere at all times. Not only that, I was just going through and there are these markets, there's chickens hanging everywhere. And I was like, man, I thought we ate a lot of chicken in the States, but boy, they eat a lot of chicken here in Thailand. I'm sure everybody eats a lot of chicken. And so I already just thought of this premise. I was like, how many chickens are because I was traveling. I was like, how many chickens are in the world at the same time? So I thought this up, and Trav, my mind went exactly where your mind went, which is like, all right, how much chicken does the average person eat per week? And how many people are there in the world? Right. So I think you're on the right track. I'm going to recuse myself from the conversation. I just want you to know that, like, one, I already thought of this, and that's already freaking crazy and funny enough that Curdy asked this question because, like, you're a smart dude. I've thought about the same thing.
It's funny that this wild ass question is the qualifier for being smart, by the way.
Well, this is like
that
stuff
makes
that
you
people,
smart.
Big picture people think about
being
this.
a little judgmental.
I'm just
Curdy's a big picture dude, man, and big picture dudes think about logistics on grand scales. So
I love it. I love it.
Curdy's a wonderful human being.
Ass loves it.
I'm the only one. Have you guys met him in person? I have. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Now check it out. So I have questions for you, Joe. Do you then know the answer to this question?
I know the answer to the question. And
like,
I will say this.
The question is, how many chickens are alive like on any given day? What it.
I'll say this. I know roughly the answer to this question.
No, hold on.
I know roughly
We're putting in a guess.
Question. I know roughly the answer to the question. And when I guessed before I looked it up, I was within 10%.
Dang.
Okay, so here's the question. Are we guessing how many chickens are killed every day, consumed every day, or just alive on
how many chickens are in the world right now alive?
Okay. That's a different question.
But here's what you have to take into consideration, right? It's like, we as humans, we have the ability to freeze things that we kill. So there can be like, the US has a huge oversupply of cheese. I don't know if you know this. We have tons of cold storage just for all the cheese that we produce. So this came into my thought process as well. Like, we have just like tons of frozen meat out there that is not being consumed. So not to mess with you too much, but there's like
right now in the world, there's about 8.25 billion people on the planet. I'm going to say if we're looking at like a whole chicken, I would say the average human,
an alive chicken. Yeah.
Well, no, the entire thing,
whole chicken.
not like just the breast or whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
From birth to death, right? The day they're slaughtered, from the day they're born to the day they're slaughtered, how many chickens exist in order to sustain this chicken habit that we as humans have?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I would say if the average human, like, what do we say? It's one chicken per day for the average human, accounting for the people who
could eat a chicken per day, but are you really eating a chicken per day?
No.
I'd say the average human is eating something like
0.6
a chicken per week, like
a whole chicken per week. One person. You're thinking of family too, right? So like your family might eat a whole chicken per day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have, what do you have? 18 kids over there? What? There's a lot of them.
The Seal family needs multiple chickens.
Yeah, we need lots of chickens. Yeah, we're thankful for that.
Actually, you're supplying your big chicken over here, right? Big chicken could not survive without
Trav.
Reproducers. You reproduce like chickens do, honestly.
And Big Hard Shell Taco also he supports.
Big old El Paso,
El Gringo Hard Shell Taco.
So
conglomerate is fucking pleased with you.
So then what would we say, like, is the time frame a week then? Like, what are we trying to do here?
I'm gonna posit a guess.
Okay, do it.
I'm going to say that there's between 1 and 2 billion chickens alive today.
I was going to say between 2 and 3.
There are 8 billion people in the world. You think we outnumber chickens, guys? Do you think we outnumber chickens? Have you seen these documentaries about these chicken farms and the inhumane treatment of chickens?
Yeah.
They're shoving these chickens, tons of chickens, into very small places.
Well, then it would be
more. Everywhere I go, there's more chickens.
It would be more than one per person then.
Yes.
Right.
There's that many fucking chickens. So hold on a minute. That doesn't even make any sense. There are chickens in places we don't even know where they're chickens. I mean, this is crazy amount of chickens.
You ever been in Hawaii?
Well, they take up less space than us too, right, Jax? They take up a lot less space than us. So.
I've never gone to a person's apartment and seen a chicken. Is all I'm saying.
You ever seen a chicken coop?
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of the people in my neighborhood, of course, have chickens.
You know? Yeah. Okay. Well, how many chickens do each of those people have?
I mean, I have 0, but I eat a lot of chickens, so I don't know what I'm attributing to. Like,
Okay, so I'm just gonna look it up right now because yours was 4 years ago, Joe.
No, we're way off.
All right. So I have not looked this up
11 billion. 11
billion.
No, that's low. That's way low. I'm gonna say 25 billion-ish. This is
So they more than triple us.
Yes. Think about how many chickens it takes to sustain a person.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild.
The life cycle of a chicken.
So right now there are roughly.
Think about how many chickens you need just. Think about how many chickens you need just producing eggs. The chickens we're not even slaughtering.
Listen. Right now there are roughly 26 to 35 billion chickens.
That's insane.
Alive globally, with numbers fluctuating daily due to hatching and slaughter.
Chick-fil-A. Raising Cane's, not to mention every other fast food chain that also serves chicken. Wow. Dave's Hot Chicken. There are so many concepts just based solely on chicken. Think about Costco, the rotisserie chickens that they've got there.
Yeah.
Every grocery store you go to now has rotisserie chickens, right? Think about how many dead chickens you see every single time you go to the grocery store.
They look delicious.
That's crazy.
Amazing. Yeah, so there have to be more chickens. So this was my thought about it. There had to be way more chickens than there are people.
Yeah.
Right. And I've also seen documentaries about how
there's people starving in the world too. I mean, it's not like everybody's eating a fucking chicken like you are at your fucking house.
Eating good over in the coop.
I mean,
we got enough chickens for everybody.
No hard shell tacos
donating
over there.
some of your chicken. I mean, who needs 5 chickens? I just need 1 chicken. That's why this is too much. Too much.
All right,
It's crazy.
So
these motherfuckers are counting them before they hatch. Is the problem?
Wow, unbelievable. I had no clue. The 30 billion chickens was not. I could never have imagined.
Didn't think
That's
so either.
amazing.
So while Jackson and I may have been a little bit too high to do the math there, we're thankful we had Joe Quavius to bring us back on the rails to finish out this question of the week. So thank you very much, Curdy. We now know there are between 25 and 30 billion chickens in the planet.
If I'm being honest, I know you're trying to take us out, but if I'm being honest, my math is simply there have to be at least 3 chickens to 1 person, and there's 8 billion people. So my initial guess at the time
was almost right
24,
on.
Was 24 billion chickens, right? There has to be 3 chickens to 1 person, right?
You think you're better than us, Joe? Is that
yes,
what
he
you're
does.
Wow.
That's what he does.
I think I might be slightly better at math.
Wow.
I don't know.
Doubles down on it too, right?
Yep.
Wow.
It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, listen. You know who's not a chicken is me, to tell you the truth.
All right. So now that Jax and I have taken abuse from Joe at the end of this episode that we didn't think we were going to take, I think it's time for us to ride this.
Hey, 1 week he's meatwad, next week he's chicken. I mean, this is crazy. But I just want to say, as you get everybody out of here, hey, good luck in week 16. If you're in week 16 is the money week. The way I look at it, most dynasty leagues pay for 1 and 2. All the money goes to championship week. So this is the week you got to get through. Next week, you don't have to make any more trades going in next week. You can or whatever, but this is the money week. This is the highest leverage week in dynasty fantasy football. And that's why there has to be a trade deadline that incorporates this week. Go get a title, boys. Good luck.
Finish the job. Finish the job.
And with that, I am Trav. For Jax Falcone, for Joe Quavius Kubatakis, this has been Dynasty Underground, and we'll see you next week. Peace.